Hey everybody! How do you tell the difference between a 1968 and 1969 Chevy Chevelle? I mean, come on, they look exactly the same. And the previous year, the 1967 looked nothing like it at all, and the 1970 was totally different. Well, one super easy way to tell the difference is the older year, the 1968, has a wing window, and the 1969 does not have one. It is just a one-piece glass side window. Also, the grille looks a little less fancy on the 1968 from the 1969, and the taillights were a little smaller from the 1968 from the 1969. The 1967 and 1968 Camaro caused a lot of confusion between people trying to identify it from the outside. I have owned a 1967 Camaro for over 30 years now, but I can totally see how the two can get mixed up. There's two glaring differences between the two, and once you know the story, you should never have a problem with it again. First off, the 1967 Camaro, in which was the first year of the Camaro, was produced with a wing window, and is the only Camaro build so far that has one. So the 1968 Camaro has a full side window instead. The second thing is that for a 1968 model year cars, the government mandated that all vehicles produced on that year and moving forward need to have a side marker light on it. So the 1967 had a clean fender and quarter panel, and the 1968 had side marker lights on it. And then also some other details such as the grille and turn signal lights were different. The 1967 had circles and the 1968 had rectangles. And the taillights looked really close together, and just the 1968 had sections dividing the brake light and the reverse lights. The 1967 and 1968 Cougars are really hard to tell the difference between as well. My brother had a gold-colored 1967 Cougar that was in great shape back in the early 1990s, and I remember he let me borrow it one time so I could take a girl out on a date, and I wanted to impress her with a fancy car. The car ran just perfect and smooth as can be. One of those great memories you'll never forget. Now on to how we can tell the difference between the two visually on the outside. On this one, I can only really tell by the side marker lights or the absence of them on the 1967 once again. The grills and taillights between the two have subtle differences, but if you only got a quick glimpse of one of these two cars while in traffic, it might be super hard to tell the difference if not looking for the side marker lights. Now on to 1971 and 72 Chevelles. This one has puzzled me for years. Once I remember the differences, I would quickly forget it by the time I'd see one again. But I ended up figuring out a way to tell the difference that really stuck with me. And just as a reminder, the 1970 and 73 cars were totally different looking cars and not even close to the same looking. So how I tell the difference between the 1971 and 72 is that the ribbing in the front grille on the 1971 has one chrome line in it, and 1972 has two lines in it. That's the best method that has stuck with me on these cars. If you have any other suggestions on things I have missed or may help me out on visually identifying these cars on the outside, please comment below, and thank you for watching.